Good evening and welcome to Psychic of the Plans. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course I'm signing out with my operations manager, Jackie Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing well. How are you this evening?
Evil in a mood, all over the goddamn place. Like,
You know.
But
are you well rested now?
No, I am. We knew this would be a cost of my energy. So, yeah.
Well, one could hope,
Yeah, one could hope. One could hope that people would actually do ethical behaviors. One could hope that there could be professional boundaries. One could hope there could be professional behavior in companies and corporations. But that is a bygone thing. All right. Oh, more bearish? Yeah, I'm bear walking out in the middle of freaking March. What the hell? All right, so let's dig in. Let's track my goal. And let's see where we get to. Oh, well, that doesn't show you guys everything. There we go. All right. So we grab our stickers and let's see how many spots we get to fill in this week. This week's been a little hectic. So, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we get 6 new spots in our goal checker. Woohoo! We're getting closer.
Yay!
So, I have new Mediumship articles coming up. Medium is a internet platform for professionals. So those will be going up on Mondays. There was an article posted today. So if you want to check those out, I'll grab a link here in a minute. Yep. So we have 4 plus 6. There we go. Awesome. We're almost there. Almost there, guys, for me to be shopping for something.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
No, yay, bingo card.
Yeah. Very much, very much. All right. So let's get into this week. All right. I do want to show this because I don't think people sometimes get that my day goes upside down and around the fucking corner. This was not what we had planned on Sunday. It just wasn't.
Well, we make it work.
Right. On Sunday, I was supposed to start my day doing the review, then psyche the plans, and then take a nap, and then work, then go do mixtape, and go to the gym. Here's the adapted planner. This is why I have weekly and daily pages, other than all the things I have to track. This is why, it's because my schedule can get very fluid. Alexa, turn on overview. Alexa, turn on entryway. There we go. That's better. Yes. All right. So I was up to 1 p.m. today.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that was scheduled for this morning didn't happen. Bear went to sleep. I woke up at 7 p.m. We're doing the psyche of the plans now. Then I'm going to go to work. Then I supposedly have Sinful and Mixtape. We may have a plan for a mega party.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'm going for a hike in the morning.
Awesome.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. Yay.
So what I do is I eliminate the things that I need to, and then I start from where I'm at. And I work to the things that I have to get done, the things that have been scheduled, or the things that are scheduled. I have a call at 10:30.
But you definitely got all your points for today for house cleaning.
Oh, I already got those? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're counting those. Definitely counting those.
Dishes. Laundry's already moving. Daily room. Got very well done this morning.
So I'm saying, like, you better be checking off some things on that side list because you definitely got those done.
Yep. I just have the litter box and trash to do. I didn't get those done.
Okay.
All right. So with that, I want to begin moving into this week with a new look at some things. All right. So let's take your highlighter color. What times is affecting me next week?
Alrighty. So, Monday at 2,
Okay.
I have my telehealth.
Okay. Ew, I can't see that. Yeah. As you notice, this is normally things I check off for him. Fine. Let's go yellow. You know, I really like these mild highlighters, except that one. Okay. Monday at 2.
And then I have to take your mother to a doctor's appointment on Tuesday at 2:30. We
Okay.
actually have to start at like 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she's supposed to be there very early this time.
Yes.
So, yay.
Yay.
All right. And then I can't find it on my calendar. I think something happened or we might have the wrong day.
Okay.
Was that your mother was supposed to be in Charleston on Thursday?
Yeah, the 18th is what she said.
Okay.
So I'm just going to highlight this day, this block up here that tells me there's an unknown that we're not sure of.
Okay.
All right.
And then Friday,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Princeton from noon to about 6 or 7.
Okay. All right. So nothing affects my mornings other than the 18th. Well, your mornings, my nights.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put some stability in here.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Am I the only one that wakes up just like still asleep?
No, I think that's fairly common.
All right. So let's go ahead and plan my morning routine. My get up and morning routine for 1 in the afternoon, with the understanding that may change on the 18th, because if she does have eye surgery on the 18th, then I will be going with that. So Thursday is in flux. Let's try not to have any hard deadlines there.
Okay.
All right. We are going to have dinner at 7 p.m. throughout this week. And if you're not home, then it'll be waiting. It'll be something easy.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair.
Okay. I am leaving the office at 6 a.m. No, I don't want to note my activities there. So. So I did make a wonderful loaf of bread.
You did.
And there's pictures going up in the Patreon with the, how do I say this? Recipe that breaks all gluten-free rules.
Yes.
All right. Let's start planning the unmovables here. No physicals today is at 5 p.m. Psyche Coffee Shop, PCSP is at 8. Mountain Bears is at 9. And Psychic That Plans is at 5 p.m. Okay. So how has week been in operations this week?
As in on your side, I think everything was going really, really well until like last night, this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went really, really, really wonky.
Yeah.
Like, I think you had some glitchiness this week with a couple of things, but it wasn't really bad.
Okay.
And we got just minor glitches.
Okay.
Nothing you couldn't work around.
Right.
But then last night is where it was like,
And yep. I'm trying to figure out how to say it nicely, but I don't think there's a way.
No,
so
there's no nices.
Yeah. Game night. Soak. Factory. Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm seeing more and more of this in the psychic industry. That's why you're going to notice some changes. They're not bad changes. There's just going to be some more promo stuff going out to you guys. Um, More content on advisor-based stuff uh, going out on Medium. Um, oh, that's right. Factory technically is on Thursday. That's what I'm missing.
Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys.
So I'm working on something that I can record my DJ mixes and have them for you for Patreon, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be very cool.
Yes. I don't think it will be the actual party. I think it's going to be more so the music mix.
Which is still awesome.
Right. So we will play with it. Supposedly I'm able to do it. Supposedly the equipment is able to do it. I hope you guys like that. You did get some content out this week on my main channel, which is Aeson Knight. And that is an unboxing of a book called Talking Angels, Finding Angels. It's a lovely brand box. Go check it out.
Yes, it was very impressive when it came out.
It was. Like, I thought it was med delivery, and it's like, oh no, it's something totally different.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a moment.
All right. All right. Check the calendar. Make sure there's no other immovables.
I don't think so. Like, no, I think that's basically it.
Okay. All right. So we're going to power load this week in both activity and work. Notice I said work. So here we go. So you have your appointment. So that is going to be a date with an invisible.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have MT. And then, I threw my pen cup last night.
Yep.
Guys, I'm having to sort out my pens again.
Mm-hmm.
When I reach a certain level, sometimes there's just no other choice in a matter other than to throw it across the fucking room.
Sometimes, yeah. Like, this doesn't serve me.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think we all go through it.
I try, keyword there is try to contain things and move the energy, shift the energy. Sometimes that doesn't work out so well. And I have to be reminded I'm human. All right, so let's
Brenda
begin
says
this.
as long as she didn't break anything.
No, I've not broken anything since my divorce. And then I didn't even throw a damn thing. Weirdest thing. All right, story time while I figure out what I'm doing here. So I decided I was terminating the relationship that was no longer serving me. in a form or fashion. And we got into a yelled screaming match, and I think there wasn't a piece of glassware left in the house when we were done.
Alrighty. Well, that does occur.
Yeah. So I have a temper.
Yeah, Brenda says, I learned I have to clean up after myself. Curbs my hissy fits a good bit.
It doesn't mind because that's part of the anger process.
I'm just too lazy for that. Like, I really try to think twice before throwing things.
And can I point out, you sleep through everything?
Mostly everything. Mostly everything. I grew up in a war zone, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to move the coffee shop. That ain't good.
Oh, Brenda says, but have you stuck a fork in a plaster wall yet? Cousin did. LOL, my family has a temper. Should mention by throwing it.
No, I have not done a Pacific fork through a wall.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I've put my ass through a wall. I've put a bullet through a wall. I've thrown a knife through a wall and it's stuck. See, and this is why I normally do not get to that point. And normally we just have a really super deep cleaned house when events like this occur, unless they're about the relationship. And in the relationship, you can go find me in the woods somewhere.
Not that that's why you're hiking right now.
No.
Hiking is just for fun.
Yes.
And it exercises the dog too.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm not in the middle. We are not in the middle of a war with each other yet.
What?
Hey, yeah. It's a healthy relationship. There will be arguments. If there's not arguments in a healthy relationship, then that relationship will fail.
Fair enough. See, Brenda reacted to the same word I did. She's like, yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, honey.
I know. I just had to point it out.
Yep.
I want to pause you for a second.
Okay.
You just got really gung-ho on Thursday for work,
but
you were trying to leave Thursday open.
I know. It's flexible. I'm going to schedule it, but if I need to change it, I will. This is why I'm overloading for that day.
Okay, I was just double checking.
Yep. Can you get me the weather report?
Sure. Just 1 second. All right.
I'm not ready for it yet.
I know. I'm still waiting on the Weather Channel. All right.
All right. Yes, I've mega loaded this calendar with work.
Okay.
Okay. This is not going to be the new normal. Okay. This is me taking control of some situations and basically going, watch me move.
All right. Let me get some numbers. So Monday.
Monday from 10 to 6 a.m.
10 p.m. to 6 a.m. All right. Tuesday.
From 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
From 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
All right. Then we go from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
From 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Okay.
Thursday, these are tentative, but we're going to do them anyhow. From 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
From 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay.
From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
Friday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
Saturday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
From 10 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Okay.
From 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay.
Sunday is from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay.
And for 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Okay. Just a second. I'll do some mathy math.
Okay.
I just have to do a little cleanup first.
No problem.
Started writing all big
Uh-huh.
and kind of messed myself up there. So 8, 4 plus 3 plus 2. 4, 3, 2. 9. Let's see. 5 plus 7, 12. 4, 8, 10. 5 to 7. Let's see. 5, 5, 10, 12. 3 and 2, 5. Alrighty. Let me total those up. Alright. So 8 plus 9 plus 12 plus 10 plus 7 plus 12 plus 5. That is a total of 63 hours. Times 0.75 is 47 task blocks.
Right.
Technically 47 and a quarter, but meh.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's going to be a stormy week. All right. So digging into that, if I'm going to put in this much work, I've also got to balance out the other side of that. So, what's our temperatures? And rain or sun?
Can I just go ahead and let you down now?
Yes.
All right. So Monday is mostly sunny.
Okay.
Tuesday is only partly cloudy.
Okay.
Thursday only has morning rain.
Okay.
And Friday is mostly cloudy.
Okay.
Everything else is thunderstorms. So we have thunderstorms on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Let's do this differently.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Monday, I'm specifically looking at the 7 a.m. block if it gives it to you.
Well, I can at the 7 a.m. block.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna get that.
Okay.
All right. So we're looking at Monday is 94 and mostly sunny.
Awesome. Okay.
Tuesday is 93 and partly cloudy.
Okay.
Wednesday is 84 with thunderstorms.
Okay.
Thursday is 78 with light rain.
Okay.
Friday is 83 and mostly cloudy.
Okay. Okay.
Saturday is 81 with scattered thunderstorms.
Okay.
And Sunday is 84 with scattered thunderstorms.
All right. So yeah, there's going to be some high activity. There's some gym time. There's some hiking time. And I think I may start taking Gizmo down to Thurman after the hike and see if I can get him in the water. Because then I can cold dip.
True. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. I hope he enjoys it.
I hope he does too. If not, he can wait in the car because I won't cold dip for that long.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. So that's the Powerhouse Week. We're going to see how it goes. There's a lot of work that's going to get done. You guys can start seeing some stuff come out. Again, I'm pivoting very quickly into new models, new modes, and new corrections.
It'll all be good.
It'll all be good. All right, I'm going to throw some pretty on this, and you can show us what you're up to.
Oh, okay.
Let's go ahead and do the week ahead. Sorry.
Thank you.
You were all set and planned for that, and I didn't see it on the green room.
Yeah, I was right there. I was just moving over.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right, now you're being a sarcastic set of Dax. All right, so first up out of the deck is Judgment. It's a renewal, rebirth, making choices and decisions. The King of Swords is sitting there. Now, he is the tyrant, which means you hold to your boundaries. You hold to, this is how it's fucking going to get done. If you don't like it, screw you. And the final outcome that we can focus is Kiss. Keep it simple. The cards are Judgment, the King of Swords, and the Six of Cups.
Nice. All right. Yay.
Alrighty. So with that, guys, let's take a look and see what the operational side of all this insanity looks like.
Oh yes. It's going to be a wild week. So we're getting a little more normal. Because I don't know, July's felt like everything's just kind of been like, you know what I mean? Like you get a pattern and a routine going, and this is how my life works, and then July has just not been that. So I think we finally start mid-July, getting back into a more normal routine.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited about that. I've got a few different projects on the boards that I'm working. So like things are moving through my task list as I figure out from the previous day what's going to be next.
Right.
Because I'm getting variable amounts of work done. So I'm kind of having to roll it forward. So that's kind of like what the last couple of days have been. And just kind of rocking it.
Right.
That comes through. So I mean, it does what it needs to, and it works out.
And it's a nice plan set up.
Oh yeah, like I really like the visual.
Yeah,
like it makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not intrusive. It's not too colorful. It's not too anything.
Right.
So yeah. And then now this week's going to be potentially. I'm going to have a lot of work time on sort of the front end of the week. And then and then like Wednesday. And then as we move into Thursday, Friday, this is going to get a little wild.
Right.
Just to kind of calm back down on Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
So I think I can roll that. It's not as intense as it looks. We just have a couple of road trippy days potentially. I have at least one road trip day. Possibly 2, and then there's a local appointment. So I'm not too that's not as
big.
It does take a little time, but it's not insane.
Right.
Yeah. And you'll notice I still have to put the shows in. I just realized a minute ago that I hadn't put those in.
Right. But it'll be what it is. I think you're doing really good with your planner. I'm glad to see you're using some of the gratitude spots a little bit more.
Yes. Yeah. Despite the way it happened, I was really, really grateful for the clean kitchen this morning. I know that came at a horrible cost.
Right.
Well, but it did.
Right.
Don't diminish that. It sucks, the situation that caused that. But at the same time, I just was so calm getting my coffee. I didn't feel stressed. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel like I was... Because that's been one area that has a tendency to just... Because we use it so much.
Right.
So our little coffee bar just goes through pure hell and insanity.
Right.
It is the most used surface in this house.
Next to our desk, yes.
I would argue sometimes, considering that there's 3 of us.
Right.
It just constant has activity. So just walking in and just going to get my coffee and everything was just put away, and it was I want to get coffee. I like coffee. Coffee's fun. You know what I mean? That's where I was this morning. It was really nice.
Yep. Well, it's going to get, now that I've gotten it reconfigured, and what I mean by that is I've reconfigured the room to put my mixer in place so that we don't have dead space there with an Instapot that I barely use. And we're going to...
That's only been a 6-month change that all of a sudden the Instapot just kind of...
Well, I took on a whole different genre of cooking.
I know. But I'm just saying that it's been a relatively recent development that it hasn't been used more than a toaster.
Yeah.
Now it just sits there and it's do you want a grapefruit juicer?
No. I have no... I didn't... no, we don't want to get me into the grapefruit juicer kick.
I'm just saying, it's about how much we use it at this point. It's just, it died in the last 6 months for us. We don't use that.
Well, and I'm sure it'll make returns, but it's going to be like the slow cooker. It pops up, it gets used, and then it can go back to its home.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas, the KitchenAid is going to get used at least weekly at this point.
Probably twice a week, at least.
At least. We will see. How long this loaf lasts, and then that'll tell us how much I've got to bake for that. Which I will be posting that recipe to our Patreons. That recipe will be going out there. Mediumship article. That's the one I was going to share. Is the Medium site.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm starting to get some follows. How nice. How nice.
Love the follows. Love the follows.
Yeah. How do I share this? Ah, here it is. Oh, okay. That's kind of nice. Copy. Here is the mediumship thing. Currently up is an article on self-care and an industry report. Looking at the psychic network industry and where it's headed. Um, Platform and marketing predictions for 2022. General pricing analyzation of the psychic industry. Sales psychology, like luxury insight. Those are the current articles up. Be looking for a lot more content over there because it will be occurring. And look for a lot more in psychic industry based content.
Mm-hmm. Which is very cool.
Right. And I've produced a lot of industry directed content for a while now, and was providing it to a certain influencing industry in the space. Now you guys are going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we will not be streaming over on Twitter any longer. I'm not going to be paying Elon Musk a premium fee for us to stream.
No, I can't justify that one.
Mm-mm.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah. So if you were watching on Twitter, if you normally follow me on Twitter, you're going to need to go to my YouTube and start following there. There will be a lot more concentration on my YouTube channel and us streaming to the YouTube channel. As we've recently seen, Facebook has moved to only allowing certain accounts to stream, and you cannot multi-stream over there on multiple pages. That is why everything's moved over to Aeson Knight streaming there, because that's where the largest audience base is.
I'm just curious, but I wonder how much of this is influenced by like MLMs and the fact that there are just so many of the MLM people that like just go live and sell.
Right.
And it just gets a bit like that's not what this is for.
Right. I'm just wondering. Hello, X. How much is your premium service?
They keep pushing. Like they've got all kinds of things now that like you can't do unless you're premium.
Yep. $7 a month. Billed annually. So
$84 a year.
I can't justify that.
I don't think many people can. I mean, it sounds cheap, but in a world full of software as a service and all the things we're already paying small monthly fees for,
right?
Like it gets to a point. It's like, which, by the way, we totally understand. Like, you know, we try to sell our Patreon, we really do, and we appreciate all of our Patreon sponsors 100%. But it's like I also totally understand it. That like it comes a point where it's like, good God, is this where we're at? Like we pay for an internet connection and Patreon sponsorships and streaming TV services or video services on demand. Like, oh my God. Like, at what point do you just really have to stop and sit back and go, what are we doing?
Well, here's my thing. And, you know, one, the Patreons, we value you guys so much, but we also make sure that every penny that comes through that Patreon gets used on the network. You know, it doesn't go into my pocket, it doesn't go into Joe's pocket, it just helps cover the subscription to StreamYard. It helps cover, like, you know, recently we upgraded our mics. I want to upgrade my over the top, you know, direct down system, but that's what it enables us to do, to produce content for you guys, which I hope you find valuable.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like, we ain't pocketing nothing on that. And we technically have two Patreons. One is my educational Patreon, where I teach classes and stuff. And then the other one is the Barista Patreon. Both of those monies go right back into those projects. It's just helping fund the project like a Kickstarter. And you guys get some great benefits over there. You get content before everyone else does. You get exclusive content that I'm not putting out anywhere else. You also get more social interaction. You get posts that no one else do. You get videos that no one else does. You get pictures that we won't share online of, like, outings and hikings and recipes. Especially, you know, if you're in the gluten-free area, like, they got the Parmesan chicken recipe that I broke. They're going to get the gluten-free bread recipe that I broke, which I broke cardinal sin with that one.
You did.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that were like in the baking community, the gluten-free baking community, that would be like, burn him.
Yeah.
Like, you have done all the wrong things. You cannot do that. You're a monster.
Right. That
it worked. That's the wild part. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And produced a loaf of bread that actually looks like bread.
Yes. It was really cool. Like, and that's been a struggle because we've tried multiple bread recipes, like, even before the gluten-free thing. Mm-hmm. It just, I don't know what went wrong, but it's like they kept going wrong. And it's like, well, yeah, that doesn't...
The key factors there that I've found is the eggs have to be at room temperature. The butter has to be at room temperature. The yeast has to be between 110 degrees and 115 degrees. And the yeast has to be fresh yeast. None of this stored, none of this frozen, none of this older yeast. All those factors feed into bread making.
Well, it's definitely starting to feel like, at least on the yeast, that like, if it's been in your house for a month, trash it and go back to the store.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way I'm really starting to think about it, is if you go to the store planning to make bread, you buy the yeast, and then come home and it's like, we got busy and we didn't get that done. And, you know, like, we started that in June and now it's July. It's like, well, go back to the store. We need more yeast. Like, I'll trust the flour. I'll trust all kinds of things. The yeast just never seems to be like
the thing. Yeah. And for those that are wondering what flours I'm using, I am using King Arthur's Measure for Measure, King Arthur's bread flour, gluten-free Measure for Measure, and Bob Red Mill 1-to-1. Those are the flours we have decided work for us, work for me more importantly, and are stable. I understand that King Arthur is very controversial because they have took the wheat, removed the gluten from the wheat, and some people can't understand that situation, and that's where they need to go into food history.
Well, yeah, and I think it's also for some maybe very traumatic. Like, it's it could be dangerous.
Right.
Like, if you have celiacs and you're highly sensitive to contaminant, I could understand you looking at that and being like, oh, hell no.
Right.
We ain't doing this. Like, I want to live. I choose life.
Right. But when they process, well, one they are using a specific wheat strand that is been bred to have as little gluten as possible, and then they remove the gluten from the wheat when processing it. So the little amount that's in the wheat gets removed.
I think someone but again, I could also understand someone being like, but all it might take would be like, meh.
Right.
Just that fear, because I'm sure there have been a lot of people, especially those who do have celiacs and are contamination specific. What's safe?
Right.
Is this like penhead amount safe? Is this 2 penheads amount safe? Like, where's the line?
Right, and the line is in your personal choosing. But also, and this is what I've had to dig into and go through, and we've gone through. Is it's like there is a statement out there put out by many celiacs that you can eat pasta and bread that is grown in Italy, that is made in Italy, nowhere else. And the reason is the wheat in Italy is not the Monsanto's wheat that the Americans get.
Yep, not genetically modified.
Right.
It is just wheat.
Right. And so what King Arthur, I love the gluten flours. Like, that was my thing. Is no, I'm a King Arthur boy. What they have done is they've took an Italian wheat and then processed out the gluten in it.
So literally the wheat that you should be able to eat, they have then gone one step further.
Right.
And been like, that's cool. We'll even take it out just in case.
Right. And then they have, and and this is the problem with other flour companies. They will produce gluten-free flour on one line, and they will produce in one room, and they will produce gluten flour in another room.
Which is a clear moment of tell me you don't know what the problem is.
Right. King Arthur, however, said, we're opening a factory to do this, and this factory isn't even in our campus. It isn't even in the same, produced in the same state.
Like, we're not sharing air, we're not sharing equipment, we're not sharing anything.
Including workers.
Nice. Like, yeah, that's a really good way to handle that. But it is, there's so, like, and we've also noticed it with some of the cheaper products as well.
Oh, all of them.
Is it so weird to see something say it's gluten-free and then also have a warning about like wheat, soy, and eggs. Like, this was produced in a facility that also manufactures. And it's like, did you miss the point?
Well, I don't think they even analyze it.
It gets me every time I see it. It's like,
well, it gets me on that. It gets me on the gluten tax. The whole reason that I said I am done with this is because I was tired of spending $7 to $10 on a loaf of bread. Get it home, and before I can get it out of the bag, it's molded.
Oh yeah. Well, and I have to point out, like, we had a moment a couple of weeks ago, where you went to the store, you bought a loaf of bread, the gluten-free bread, and you brought it home and it was molded.
Right.
And you're like, here, take this back. And my first reaction is, you've got to be flipping shitting me. I am not taking back a loaf of bread. Not processing what you actually were talking about. And then you hand me the receipt, and I'm looking down at it to make sure it was the right receipt just in case, because we have a lot of bags in the kitchen sometimes. So double checked, and sure enough, I see the number $7.99 And I'm like, oh, you better believe you're coming with me. Like, you're going back to the store. Like, because I don't know, somewhere in my head, bread is like $1, and it's like, okay, well, we got a moldy loaf, just chunk it. It's not worth taking back. And it's like, somewhere in my brain hasn't caught up to the idea that we want a regular loaf of bread. It's like $3 and something. And the gluten-free is like 2 times that at least.
At least, if not 3. If not 3. And this was a loaf that was in the freezer section. Like, this isn't a shelf loaf. This was a freezer section loaf.
Although, ironically, I replaced it with a shelf loaf. That held on great.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? How does that
Welcome
happen?
to the food science that we now deal with. Nothing is left out in open air. It is either refrigerated or frozen. We only refrigerate what we can consume in a 3-day period. The rest of it goes to the freezer.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I kind of appreciate that, especially as someone who has an aloe sensitivity. Which is fun for me in my life, and the fact that so many foods now have tocopherol acetate as a stabilizer. Which that's a whole connection. Google it. It's a thing. Like, it's technically a vitamin E derivative, although if you really stop and think about it, almost all of your vitamin E ends up coming from aloe.
Right.
Like, I think about the only time they care about the source of vitamin E is for vitamin E in a bottle.
Right.
And they're like, oh, we got to do something different. But as for like food and beauty supplies and like I've always joked, my gauntlet is trying to buy, which is why I buy 3-in-1, side note, is trying to buy shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and razors and shaving cream. Like, those items just by themselves. Oh, and hand washing soap. Just try to buy those and avoid aloe, tocopherol acetate, tocopherol, like any derivative version of it, alpha tocopherol, like you name it. I avoid them all.
Right.
But trying to get those items and keep up to date, because I had this down to a science at one point. And it's like, I know exactly what to buy. And then products started changing.
Well, and see, that's also in the gluten-free industry. Like, every time I don't care what it is. Let's go with eggs. Every time we buy eggs, you have to scan them.
And the sad part is, you would think eggs are safe, but at this point, we've been hit with so many things that it's like, why would that have? How does it have?
Well, here's an example of something that I've done that was asinine, now looking back, but was a major mistake for me. We went to the store, and I picked up 2 cans of corn. I scanned the first can of corn. No gluten in it. Boop, both cans. Da-da-da-da-da. Get home, scan the, going through it. Fig sends me an update notice. Pull the 2 cans of corn. Because of the update notice, the second can of corn had gluten in it.
Yeah. Like, it's insane. But we had to go through a prior experience of learning that, like, green beans and corn and peas and carrots might have gluten in them. Why? It helps them stay more shelf stable. Nowhere in our brain was canned vegetables a concern. It's green beans in a can. What else did you need? like I could understand like the Hanover green beans with the ham and the blah blah blah. Okay, that might have gluten in it. I could process them. Like there's additives. It's not just green beans, but just green beans, just corn. Like there's nothing special here.
Right.
Like
But no, Brenda asks, eggs aren't safe. It depends on the eggs. Currently, they are washing the eggs to make them appear more white. A lot. By the way, FYI, if you're trying to save money, buy brown eggs. They're cheaper. But taking the eggs and washing them, dipping them in solutions, that could not be safe. And you're like, but Aeson, you crack the egg, you don't eat the egg shell.
What leaches through?
What leaches through, what gets caught off on the shell as you're cracking the egg and dumping it out. When you crack the egg, you're handling it, you're cross-contaminating more things.
Which is just such an insane idea. Like, the eggs aren't safe. And it's like,
yeah.
Like, that's the point we've had to get to is, like, scan everything. Scan literally everything.
Right. Well, we've gotten to the point, and this is the point I'm at this moment. Nothing in that grocery store is safe except for the produce aisle. Why is the produce aisle safe? Because I can wash everything, and they're not going to. Gluten on produce actually makes it what's the word I'm looking for here? Rot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to do it.
Well, at least right now, I mean, give food science 5 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That may change.
Right.
Like, and that's a scary reality.
Right. And it's not that let me address this. It's not that they wash them off. They wash them in a solution that is currently bleach and water and other additives that they won't release.
Yeah. So good luck. It could be anything.
Yeah.
It's supposedly food safe, but gluten is supposedly food safe.
Mm-hmm.
Monosodium glutamate is supposedly food safe.
Mm-hmm.
Soy is supposedly food safe. Mm-hmm. Also, more additional things we have found with gluten.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That you first read it or first think about it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's food additive, and
yeah,
it's in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a lot of things.
A lot of things.
So,
yep.
It's a little traumatic. It really is. Like and we're not trying to like scare people. Like this isn't about a conspiracy theory and chemtrails. Like it's not all that kind of like moment.
Right.
It's just the literal realities of dealing with a gluten allergy or a gluten intolerance, and trying to navigate a world in which, much like aloe, like thankfully we have some experience with this, navigate a world in which something that you cannot have is generally considered food safe.
Right.
Everyone. No.
Brenda, if I could raise my own chickens, I would already have them. But our city passed an ordinance to make it illegal to raise chickens. Now, if I was 2 streets over, I could have up to 4 hens and 1 rooster on the amount of land I have.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Like, it's really sad.
Right. And for those wondering what I'm using and if you're dealing with any allergy, here's the app. Go download it. It's not a reference code. I don't get a referral credit if you download it. That is just information for you. And it's usually food is good. And it's just literally, the website is foodisgood.com. And it will tell you everything in that product by ingredient. And we've only found one mess that was updated like 2 days later. All right, guys, it's going to be a powerhouse week. We're going to rock this out. Remember, use your judgment, set your boundaries, and hold to them. If you have to, act like a fucking tyrant. Take that King of Sword energy and chop off some heads.
Absolutely. Some
Strong
strong energy.
Yes.
All right. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Joan Owen, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at PCSPNetwork.com.
Yes. Good night, y'all.
Good night.